So dear devotees, we are here and let us begin. We've got a willing gathering. Everyone has something in their pocket. Last week, they didn't have an opportunity to share. This week, by their vote, they've all come to join in the Zoom today, and they've always got something to give. Whenever we go to the temple, we must always give something in the temple. So they've got something in their pockets. All right, so first of all, we've got Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam to begin with, and we'll try to be conscious of what we are saying too as we sing, as we chant. So take it slowly together. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavangscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatan Vitam Tang Sajivam Sarvetam Savadutam Harijana Sahitan Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Paran Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitanscha Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurannilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namo Mahavaranyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gora Tise Namaha Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. So dear devotees, happily with you all, and happily with Lavanya Moy and a new resident in the temple, in West London Temple. They given him the title already, Bhakta. Bhakta Suyash. Huh? Sayush.
Shreyas.
Shreyas. Okay, thank you very much. Bhakta Shreyas. So he's in the temple. He survived 3 nights and 4 days. So let's see if he can manage the next 364 nights and days. And then the next 60 years, well, okay, we don't want to frighten you, we want to encourage you. Very good. All right, so dear devotees, we are here, we are in summer, but we've just received rains over the last, actually, few days, a bit by bit rain. And so in the Chaitanya Charitamrita in the mornings, we've been reading about, in fact, we just finished the chapter, which is Mahaprabhu's instructions to Rupa Goswami in Prayag. Okay, I was in the process of trying to introduce Chinmoy Dev Prabhu because he's the gardener, and with the rains, there are so many examples in scriptures. There's one section where there's an analogy between the seasons here on earth and the devotional life, the hearts of the devotees. And so one of those analogies is when it's been so dry for a long time, when the rain comes, then life is giving life to all the living entities. So the devotees without Krishna consciousness are all dried up, souls are dried up. When they don't have Krishna consciousness, they're scorched in the heat of material existence. And then when the devotees come and shower the rains of Harikatha, then everything becomes set right. They become nourished and they grow nicely. But as I was introducing Chinmoy Dev Prabhu, then somehow or another, the Zoom just disappeared. And then his first words when we came back on air were, "We went to Goloka Vrindavan." So definitely a sign we should be passing over the microphone for Chinmoy Day Prabhu from our miracle garden and some Hari Katha from this week.
Dandavat Pranam to everyone. Very good to see everybody in their tiny little cubes. So I guess I just what I've been hearing recently from Srila Govinda Maharaj. He was talking about how to recognize the current of Krishna consciousness. And he was explaining, giving the example of like electricity. And if we can always think that the flow of Krishna consciousness, the current of Krishna consciousness is always flowing. But it's underground sometimes. And so we may not be able to see it, but it's always flowing. And then occasionally there'll be these light bulbs, these shining bulbs that reveal this Krishna consciousness to the public. And so we have so many of those shining bulbs in just the past 100 years. It's incredible how many shining bulbs have appeared to give us this knowledge. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Bhakti Vinod Thakur, Srila Sridhar Maharaj, Srila A.C. Bhaktivinoda Swami Maharaj, Srila Govinda Maharaj, Srila Madhusudan Maharaj, all these shining bulbs who are spreading this, diffusing the Krishna consciousness knowledge to the public, to us, to those sincere seekers who are looking for something meaningful, fulfilling in their lives. And we are so very grateful. In fact, there's no way we can actually repay what we have received. Our debt is too great. The only thing we can give is like ourselves, completely unabashedly, complete surrender, give ourselves to our gurus and to this mission, to the devotees, to the Vaishnavas. And it reminds me of some question that was asked of Govinda Maharaj at one time in a book by Srila Sridhar Maharaj. I think it's Sermons of the Guardian Devotion. He explains that as we progress on the path of Krishna consciousness, our path becomes narrower, more stretto, strict, more strict, more tight. And what that is, that once we come into connection with this conception given by Srila Saraswati Thakur, given by Srila Sridhar Maharaj, that other things that we were interested, other concepts that we were interested in, they tend to fade away. They pass. We leave them behind. And more, our only nourishment is what's coming from the lotus lips of our gurus. Everything else is secondary. And so, and this is one of the meanings of a good quality, or what Gurudev describes it as the first quality of a devotee, is chastity to Guru. So when we have chastity to Guru, we not only have chastity to the person, but to the message that he's giving us. And so when we have that chastity to that message, then all other philosophies, conceptions, religions, they tend to have less value for us. And once we dive deeper and deeper into what Srila Sridhar Maharaj has given us, what Srila Saraswati Thakur has given us, what Srila Govinda Maharaj has given us, we realize that we don't need anything else. Everything is there. Everything that's to give us absolute fulfillment in our spiritual lives, that can be found in the books of Srila Sridhar Maharaj, the teachings of Srila Saraswati Thakur, the books of Srila Govinda Maharaj. What they have given us, that is more than enough. We don't need to look anywhere else. Left, right, there's no need. Our focus should be solely on the teachings of our Guru Parampara. And so I'm always trying to keep that in mind, and I'm finding more and more that nothing in this material world is going to give us any real satisfaction except what has been given to us by our gurus. So in that line, I just pray for the mercy of all the devotees, because without them, it's so easy to fall away from this line. It's so easy to get distracted by other things, other conceptions, Maya in general. Maya is a devotee of the Lord and more powerful than us, and we cannot fight Maya on our own. Even we may have a sincere desire to practice Krishna consciousness, and even if we do have a sincere desire to practice Krishna consciousness, Maya, that gives Maya more energy to distract us, to disturb us, to break our vow of chastity to Guru. So only by the grace of the devotees, the mercy of the devotees, can we continue in this line. As Maharaj said earlier a few minutes ago, slowly together. Because it's definitely, it's not a race. It's not something, maybe I can't speak for everyone, but not going to accomplish in this one life. Yeah, there is a t-shirt too. Slowly together.
Madhurananda Prabhu, he made a slowly together t-shirt, as well as the Chamatkara t-shirt, amazing, Chamatkara, amazing, astonishing, oh, stupefacente in Italian t-shirt. And today he's wearing Thailand. What year? Last year. 2024 Vaishnava Festival in Thailand t-shirt he's wearing just now. And as Chinmoy was speaking, by the way, then also is resonating what I've been hearing today from Srila Guru Maharaj, because Srila Guru Maharaj was explaining about how Maya, she's very strong, and we have no possibility of crossing over Maya. It's like, we are a small ant and we're trying to, do away with great big elephant. It's just not possible. But Guru Maharaj gave stress that, yes, we're coming to Krishna, but when we get the favor of the Vaishnavas, those who are dear to Krishna, then Maya herself will see that this particular Jiva soul, this other Jiva soul, they're getting particular grace, favor from the pure devotee. And by that, Maya steps to the side and she doesn't interfere, because she is also a devotee and she does not want to break that grace that is coming from the Vaishnavas. And so this idea that we need the grace of the Vaishnavas, and this way we will get some strength on our journey and we will never challenge Maya. We've heard some devotees in the past sometimes challenging Maya. Oh, I am liberated in many things. And unfortunately, Maya can hear everything. And with her little finger, she can make all sorts of changes in devotees' lives. And this came up, by the way, when a question came to Srila Guru Maharaj today, but of course it was many years ago, when a question came up to Srila Guru Maharaj, why so many devotees were going away? And this, remember, was the time after Srila Prabhupada's disappearance, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada's disappearance. And Srila Guru Maharaj, he was very generous in his reply, but the essence of it being, we need the grace of the Vaishnavas to stay safe. And we are always in an unsafe position. As much as we don't have the Vaishnavas' grace, then we are very unsafe. And so we must be very careful with our dealings. But Srila Guru Maharaj, he also said, but they at that time also mostly the devotees who came were involved in preaching, distributing books, opening temples, doing, very energetically preaching. And Guru Maharaj also said they are going and giving a challenge. And he said it's like a fight. There is opposition from the material energy, from Maya, if you like. But then the devotees are going to fight against that Maya. They're standing strong. And by the way, Guru Maharaj also made then the point about this humility, accepting everything, in a humble way. We will tolerate everything. That this does not apply in the proper context of the preaching, because we must be assertive and not just let the illusory energy wash over everybody without some assertion that, listen, there is this path which is not taking you just a temporary satisfaction, but it is taking you to your permanent home. But then Srila Guru Maharaj is saying, but when fighting, when in the battlefield and we are going against the resistance of the material world, then some of the soldiers will be injured or lost. But we shall always try to be in that section, which is, with whatever energy we have, we're going to go forwards and we are going to be assertive in the preaching field. And then Srila Guru Maharaj said, but for those who are doing solitary bhajan, then they must be to the extreme, following the humility and the tolerance, because they are not going out to distribute against the current, but they are trying to cultivate internally. And Guru Maharaj also indicating that that is not the wish of our masters in general, but for the rare soul. And the rare soul, we always think, oh, we are that rare person, whenever there's a rare soul, that's me. But Guru Maharaj makes it clear that generally Mahaprabhu's mission is not counting on beads, in the sense of we do count on our beads. Prabhu kohe kohelan e mahamantra iha japa, in Chaitanya Charitamrita, giving this instruction to chant this to the certain number of rounds as prescribed. We must do this, but to sit alone and not do anything except chant and internally think we are cultivating, then this is not basically for us. It's for those who've already got established in Nishta, 24 hours a day, only thinking of Krishna, without any deviation of thought, word, and deed. So, but for those, then Guru Maharaj saying, to the extreme, they must follow this principle of humility and tolerance and giving honor to all others. But Mahaprabhu has put us into the battlefield to assert against the environment. So Guru Maharaj was generous. I mean, he gave different ways. Yes, devotees are going away, but and then about fortune, bhagyavan, some fortune in the background we need to have, and we need to protect that fortune. So with this, when we started today, the bhakti lata, the creeper growing, we need to be careful that we don't lose that good fortune, that we've got the seed and it's growing up. So this way, cutting out the weeds, of which Mahaprabhu said to Rupa Goswami are innumerable, is necessary for us all. And another thing today, hearing Srila Guru Maharaj, he was saying about, and the taste for the material world, according to our previous samskar, our previous tendencies before we came to Krishna consciousness, these may come to the surface, and we must cross those. We must be strong. I think last week we were mentioning about Srila Gurudev saying about being strong-minded. We must be strong-minded. We must try our best to cross obstacles. And the favorable way will be in the association of devotees. So not to be lost, not to be covered by all those waves and washed away. And another time, Srila Guru Maharaj said, and as we cross one obstacle, we gain some kind of strength. And then another obstacle comes, we cross that. We gain some strength with each obstacle that we are crossing. And in another way, then Guru Maharaj said that if we are strong to our principle, this chastity for the teachings of our masters, the chastity of following, not just knowing their teachings, but doing them, then as we cross each obstacle, we will get some strength. And that will be coming by the grace of our masters, whose guidance we are trying to follow. They are not names in a history book. They are the living potency. They are giving us the potency of devotional service. They are seeing everything. And so, again, coming back to this point, as we please the Vaishnavas, then to get some grace from them, that is going to be our strength, and that is also going to be the weakening element for the opposition. The opposition will withdraw to see that grace is coming. So it's going around in a circle this way. So we will always try to please the masters by following their directions. And the previous tastes which are lurking in the background, we must think we came to Krishna consciousness, we came, joined the temple, and to give up bad habits and bad thinking, bad everything, the whole bad of the material world, and to learn how to think in a new way. And one thinking in a new way is to constantly chant the holy name of the Lord. This is always emphasized, and then to chant without offense, and hence why our first instruction is to learn the 10 offenses and avoid them. And then Gurudev is saying, and as we leave, as we abandon and settle down any previous samskar, taste that we think we have, we'll progress in our taste of Krishna consciousness. And then Guru Maharaj used the word stale. Then he said all those other tastes of the mundane world and so-called pleasures or temporary pleasures, they will be considered as stale. They won't have it like stale bread or stale something. It's just stale. You don't want to eat it. It has no taste. It's rotten, basically. So our taste, and then when our taste starts to actually appreciate the devotees, appreciate the different aspects of devotion, we'll be taken in a certain way. And Guru Maharaj says that if you lay out food, if you just put all kinds of varieties of food outside, and then you have different animals, you open the door of where the animals are, each animal will go to its own food, which is an interesting example. Like each animal will go to eat what is there. For them, they have a taste, and it's inherent. It's the word I forget just now, but it's innate. Innate. It's innate that this bird will eat this, this animal will eat this, and we've got lots of examples like that. So the devotee, as his proper taste, as the spiritual taste is awakening, then he's leaving the stale taste of the material world, and he's finding the taste of the spiritual variegated world. And as we become cleansed and our coverings are removed, then our taste, it will also evolve and develop. But to recognize the taste that we have in devotional life and not ignore that, but to go in that direction and leave behind the stale things. This also, another way Srila Guru Maharaj started to discuss about, devotees are going away, but the devotees who are standing, then to continue and to see how the journey is maybe challenging, but it is bringing us to newer levels. Gurudev, for the second time this week in different talks, Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Sri Rama, use the expression, sorry for the newcomers, but he said that the journey is not strewn with a bed of rose petals. The journey is a challenge. We have to face challenges. And Guru Maharaj also said, sorry for the newcomers, that when we have challenges and we cross them, there are sure to be other challenges. We are on a journey. And so those who have made pilgrimages in the Himalayas or walked to a destination, or gone on any particular journey, you know that, yes, you're going to cross one boulder field, but then there's going to be something else. It's not that the journey ends by getting over one obstacle, but voluntarily, amazingly, some people actually go and walk in the mountains, and they and so they get some experience of the facing the challenges and crossing. But the similarities with the devotee journey is so often made by Guru Maharaj and Gurudev. And then we came across this expression that we've quoted. Actually, many of you may have heard in previous Zooms over the last 2 or 3 days, where Srila Guru Maharaj is using the expression of the Ananda Marga, the joyful pathway. And this expression, and in the same sentence, or within like 3 lines, Srila Guru Maharaj is saying, we must come to the shelter of the favorite devotee of the Lord and make our journey on the path of Ananda Marga, the joyful journey of joy. But that journey of joy has also the joy of crossing the obstacles and not being howled down by the obstacles. And those who do serious mountaineering, they come back to the alpine refuge in the evening time, and they're all telling their stories of the difficulties they've been through and how they've crossed it and how difficult this climb was or that climb was. And they are taking on the challenge. There is a taste in the material world to taking on a challenge and crossing over the challenge. But the spiritual taste is very full, whereas this world, at the risk of their lives, they are doing many things. And the rock climbers who are up on the rock face, and we've seen them climbing, going up. But they are facing challenges, crossing those challenges, and they're getting some rasa. And Krishna is a rasa. See? Akila rasamrita murti. He's the reservoir of every kind of taste. And what is taste? It's perception. And the yogis, those yogis who are trying to go into meditation to get very clear consciousness, and then hopefully to see the spirit, the spiritual effulgence, to get a glimpse of something, very wonderful. What they are still wanting experience. They're looking for happiness or for experience in another way, but they're still looking for an experience. I am going to, see the light. I'm going to see my spiritual self like this. So that's why the exploitation line has been condemned. It is all selfish and it brings reaction. But the renunciation line is also condemned because it is still selfish. It is trying to do one for oneself. As long as we deny the Lord and that we are his servitor, then we're caught up in that kind of a net of different levels of illusion. But the point is that the yogis too, they are trying to get happiness in some way or another. So we need to come to the source of happiness, of joy, of ecstasy. We see this all the time, and of love, of fair dealings, where even in one's dreams, they cannot, even in their dreams, they cannot deceive another person. These things, they're fresh in our mind because we've been reading some and hearing some over the recent times. Hare Krishna. And by the way, I'm told that today's questions, we didn't give anyone a chance to ask a question yet. But we have devotees here, and before someone asks a question, I can also say, please, everybody continue to give your good thoughts to Devashish Prabhu, because he's definitely facing challenges with his health. And I didn't go into it too much about that and the other, but he's due to go for an operation, and he's in little difficulty. So anyway, so please continue to give your good thoughts to Devashish Prabhu, and he's bowing. He said, I'm bowing out for the time being, but also giving that same encouragement that we meet each Monday and we continue our Monday Satsanga, Sadhu Sangha, I'm not sure what name it is given, but the Monday Zoom. And then we happily be together. And it is time to ask a question, and we've got Abhinavasundara Prabhu, we've got Kelly Kadambaran Devidasi, we've got Madhurananda Prabhu, and we've got also Leela Moy Prabhu on the other side, and Chinmoy Dev Prabhu already shared a few words with us. So we have between us here, how many decades of devotional service all added up? 35 plus. Anyway, I've only got 10 fingers and 10 toes, so I can only go to 20. But 35, 45, 70, 25 or more? No, 0. Anyway, we're well over 100 with all the team who are here. So there's lots of years of experience here, and with Gurudev for all of our side, and Leela Moy with Gurudev through the association of devotees. So you know, please try to understand Gurudev, understand Guru Maharaj through the devotees. And the section I'm listening to at the moment, we try to listen to Gurudev and we do listen to Gurudev and to Guru Maharaj, and little less, but I still listen to, still happily listen to Srila Prabhupada. And some of his lectures are quite really funny also. And inspirational and funny. But the section of Srila Guru Maharaj's talks that I'm listening to at the moment, one by one, is a time when I was, one of the times, but one time when I was there for some months in Navadip, and when Guru Maharaj was regularly talking daily, twice a day, every other day. It doesn't mean like clockwork, like a machine, but he was regularly talking. And so it's a little very happy. Deja vu is not the right word. It's like, but reliving, sitting with Srila Guru Maharaj in 1982 and 1983. In particular, later on, Srila Guru Maharaj slowed down with his like regular discourses, as it were, as his health reduced. And also, we've been with Guru Maharaj when later on Guru Maharaj said, I've answered this question. I've answered this question many times, and it must be recorded. Guru Maharaj said, it must be recorded in the books that have come. And remember, the books did come. So Guru Maharaj is referring devotees to his own books. Search for Sri Krishna, Sri Guru and his grace. Own book, each one coming out in Srila Guru Maharaj's presence. And Loving Search for the Lost Servant, Subjective Evolution of Consciousness. All those books came out boom this time. Incidentally, Sermons Volume 1 also came out in its original form during that time of Guru Maharaj. So later on, Guru Maharaj wasn't necessarily giving his energy for the questions of where did we come from, why are we suffering under illusion, many things like this. But he did give his he didn't give his energy so much for that later on, because he'd answered again and again. And as we've heard Srila Guru Maharaj one time with a devotee asking him a question, Guru Maharaj said, your questions are like you are feeding me straw. Nothing, not any like substance. The question should be for like drawing some nectar. And I was right there, and I was, shocked and happy it wasn't me that asked the question. I mean, I was right there. I promise you, there are some things we won't forget ever in our life. Well, I hope we don't forget all these things, but one event when a devotee asked a question to Guru Maharaj, and Guru Maharaj he paused, positively paused the silence, and then said, this is not an inquiry bureau. And he said it in a very serious manner, this is not an inquiry bureau. So the relevant inquiry, and then Guru Maharaj explained a little, some more, and the devotee who asked the question, of course, was shocked. But Guru Maharaj also explaining everything, guiding us, putting us on the right path. But we are so many devotees here, and we're happy to hear your question, and especially to draw something of the nature of our masters, and yes, something that maybe you're asking about, about the teachings, what to do. But that's your question. As I say, if we are sitting with you, I know we'll all be chatting together, which means questions and answers.
Dandavad Maharaj, we have a question, an anonymous question.
Okay, and I, by the way, need to reply to the anonymous question giver from last week. Yeah. Please excuse if someone hasn't received a reply from me on time. I do my best. Well, my best is very bad. I'm sorry.
Oh my gosh. I'm feeling a little bit nervous asking the question, but
I'm
going to take this opportunity anyway because of this wonderful assembly. But and I'm gonna blame it on the anonymous.
and it may well be a different anonymous person than last week.
Yeah, it's a different anonymous. So.
Okay.
So this is the question. While doing our japa, we get distracted with many passing thoughts. How do we make sure that these thoughts stop and our entire physical and mental focus is on the japa and the holy name of Krishna?
Okay, so who I see outside chanting japa in the morning quite often is Abhinava Sundar Prabhu. So I think we shall ask him that we'll pass that question to him with a microphone clipped on, kindly, close.
Dandavad everyone. Great to see everyone's faces here. Well, I think personally, I found that I've over time had been chanting japa quietly, like, internally, but actually I feel like chanting out loud a little bit, even if it's just very softly, can just moving the lips, moving the tongue, moving the, that can give some extra focus to try to focus on the name. But, it's a very, I find it that's why Maharaj sees me out there chanting, because I find it very difficult to try and maintain the service that we've been given by our gurus. And it's it's not a small thing. I was just thinking today how incredible it is that it's been given to us. This opportunity has come to us with, saying we're fallen isn't really even a thing that has any significance from certainly where I've come from, the type of background and consciousness that I've had the majority of my life, including my attempted devotional life. Really it's kind of anyway, quite embarrassing really, but we continue on anyway with the association of the devotees. And I think that's the thing, that if I was to rely on chanting japa, then I'd be pretty much lying in the gutter, I think, because it's too difficult. Because I know, for my mind is very, very free, shall we say, and it's Arjuna says that in the Bhagavad Gita. The mind is impossible to control. So why do we think that we're going to be able to control the mind? And while we're making the attempt as a service, because our guru has given us this service. You chant this, okay? We chant because he's asked us to chant, not because we're getting some taste for the holy name, or if we just concentrate a bit harder, we'll get the taste. We're going to get there by concentrating more. It's actually grace. We have to have a mood of surrender to our guru, and to try and maintain good association, and maintain some sort of service connection. Guru Maharaj and Gurudev would always stress the service connection, and through that service, certainly I always feel more happiness chanting, not on my beads, in the sense that getting around, doing some service, moving in the environment with the devotees, then it comes more spontaneously, some sort of appreciation and happiness for chanting the name. Whereas chanting on the beads, it makes it more stark. The contrast is much more stark when I have nothing else that I'm meant to be doing, and I'm only trying to do that, and then really my mind can go crazy. But anyway, we continue on because it is the order of our guru, and that's the main thing to approach it for me, is that it is a sacrifice, it is a service. It's not something that we're going to extract taste from. And actually, this morning, maybe it was yesterday morning, the Chaitanya Charitamrita, and then also in Upadeshamrita, this topic of the different rasas, and I sort of had some revelation yesterday. I was like, right, yeah, if one had some taste, because we was talking about the gradation in rasa, and Gopakumar going through these different stages of consciousness, and then I thought, because Guru Maharaj says, if someone who has whatever sort of rasa they're tasting, that is the best for them, and they won't want to leave that. And that's where they're going to, feel that that's the best for them. And then I was thinking, oh yeah, if one had some rasa, then they would think like that, or it'd be difficult for them not to think like that. And then it made me go, right, yeah, of course, I don't have any taste. So, but still, we can feel something. We're not tasting any of these transcendental things, but we're in an environment where the association is supportive, the association is giving us encouragement, and we do have revelation, and we're seeing our bad things, but there's so much good as well, and we just need to accept that, okay, we need to look at the bad things also, so that we can identify them and we can let them go. But if we don't look at them, then we're just going to be an illusion, basically. So we need to accept we have faults. We need to see our faults. We need to see how we can improve ourselves and continue on in the service of the gurus and the Vaishnava, the guru and the Vaishnavas. which has been emphasized so much by Gurudev and Guru Maharaj. So that's my little answer.
And for those of you with some yoga background, you know that in the meditation part, after you do all your exercises, there's that meditation where you're trying to make your mind peaceful, and wherever it wanders to, you bring it back to, the apple or the candle that is not flickering, and many things like this, whatever is being used. But the idea is to concentrate the mind, to get the mind a little bit under control. And Krishna does say in Bhagavad Gita, without a controlled mind, where is the question of happiness? We may think, that we are always losing the battle, but at least we are trying to meditate in the sense of we've been given that service to chant the holy name. And the name, the 4 Namabasis are all indirect chanting, just chanting without actually calling Krishna. And then, of course, the 10 offenses, which we take the opposite of the offense, and then that also gives us some inspiration. When we are chanting the holy name, then to consciously think the opposite way of the offense, and then we may feel we can recognize there's a beautiful place of offenseless chanting. We're not there, but we can guess, we can understand it really, not guess, we can understand, we know it's there because our masters tell us. But by trying to do the opposite of each offense consciously, think of the first, second, third, fourth, one by one, and do the opposite, then that also will be helpful for our positive chanting of the name. But when we feel we have no taste, we're always safe. That's what Guru Maharaj said. Our safe position is when we feel we have no taste. But at the same time, we mustn't be lackadaisical, lazy, or we don't want the words, we don't want to hear Guru Maharaj's words applied to us, which were that the devotees leaving their japa, crying, hanging on a hook, crying, fasting and crying. They are sad and fasting. So sometimes. And in the chat box, so we hope that's helpful. And in the chat box, we have a question from Bhuvana Sundari, David Asi, and Chaitanya Moy is translated it. I would like to ask how Srila Gurudev decided to become a Vaishnava. Well, that's an interesting question, and it is in the case of Srila Gurudev, Srila Bhakti Sundar Govindadev Goswami.
Because she's referring to you.
To me? Oh, well, I'm not. We need another name for me because we generally know Gurudev as Srila Bhakti Sundar Govindadev Goswami Maharaj. So we'll have to find it. Well, I know some very suitable names you can use, but you may not want to use those names.
No.
So how did I become a Vaishnava? Was that the question?
Yeah.
Where's Bhuvana Sundari's
Yeah, she's
video?
thumbs up. Yeah.
Thumbs
Yes.
up. Okay,
Yes.
Okay,
Yes,
very good.
please.
We can see you. Yeah, our screen is very small. We're all needing some binoculars a little bit. Oh, so how did I decide? Well,
Sing, please.
maybe I can say, to keep it on topic, that there was so much food out in the garden, and I was an animal in the cage, and I was let out into the garden with all the food, and I saw that food of Krishna consciousness. I saw that was one of the options, and it just felt so strongly to me when on the first book I read about Krishna consciousness, the book was The Science of Self-Realization by Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. It was so strong to me that there is a purpose for our life, a direction to use our energy, and not just to explore whether it's any part of, anything about the world, but rather we have a higher destination, and that it is, as we actually said just now, a journey of joy as well as a destination. The goal, that is the joyful land, Sat, Chit, and Ananda. And on the Brazil Zoom, I think we mentioned that just recently about how Srila Guru Maharaj said we shouldn't even waste, he said, waste our energy on Sat and Chit. But Ananda is the land of Goloka Vrindavan, and Krishna is the embodiment of Ananda. Joy, beauty, sweetness, fair dealings, our home. So it was a matter of you can say the innate taste of the word, innate, yes. And every animal has its particular taste of food. And when this kind of taste is put there of being a devotee, being what I was reading, Srila Prabhupada was describing, was a devotee. It sounded very wonderful and solid, not whimsical, because we've all read things about this yogi, that yogi, and really, okay, they can do it, but it's not practical for me. Or maybe they can do it and they can write about it at least, but it's not practical for me. But this path of bhakti yoga, we're already using energy, and we were energetic when we were younger, doing so many things. But there we've got like a purpose, a proper purpose. And so after some time, I came to the temple, and then I don't think I decided to join the temple. I think I was caught in a gently, affectionately pressurized, well-wishing wave of the devotees saying, no, don't go back out don't do another safari. Don't waste your time. Be in the temple like this. And so I didn't, and I joined the temple. But somehow it is in keeping with this idea of taste. It was somehow sure to me that the path of devotion to Krishna, and through the devotees also, was the way to use our energy. And I had no idea what the future would bring. But those days we joined the temple, and I joined the temple. We came, left our jobs, our homes, our everything. And not only me, it was a time when quite a lot of people joined into the temple life, leaving all sorts of things behind, including bad habits. And in the company of devotees, very easily you can be doing the right things. And they were very kind to keep us very busy from 3:45 in the morning until 9:30 at night. So, we're kept idle mind is a devil's workshop, so they kept us busy with mind and body. But yes, and it was Srila Prabhupada's potency coming through the words in his book, and it's Srila Prabhupada who brought me to Srila Guru Maharaj. Really, I felt it, I know it, it's not a debate for me. Because really, I expected he was alive. I expected he was living in the world. The one book I had no mention that he'd passed away. And rather he's giving a very lively nature, and he'd been in America. And I thought he was in America, probably. I thought probably he's in America or India, and I can go. I want to meet him. And I have to admit that, after, I don't know if it was the third time, it was probably the third time I went to the temple eventually, when I found a temple I could go to, which was in London. Then I realized, I was told, no, Srila Prabhupada already passed away. And then, I felt Felt, yes, that's my karma. I could not meet such a personality. But in due course of time, then we came to Guru Maharaj very clearly, just as we clearly came to Srila Prabhupada. And it's through Srila Prabhupada that we got that faith and that clear understanding. Who is Srila Guru Maharaj? And we came to Srila Guru Maharaj on a one-way ticket, or literally on a one-way ticket that time. But it wasn't a question, or do we go on a return ticket, or what? We're going there to surrender, and what will be, and then everything will get worked out after that, you can say. We cannot be the loser by surrendering to a genuine devotee. And we cannot get more genuine than Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Gurudev, Srila Prabhupada. We know that. They have brought purely the message of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And by their grace, then we are continuing and wanting to share. Like I mentioned before, I'm hearing at the moment a series of talks where I'm sitting right there with Guru Maharaj. And it is just bringing very strongly to those days. We shouldn't forget those days or leave them behind. Guru Maharaj's nature, his manner, his kindness, his depth, all of these things. We have that life experience, and we have that life experience for many years with Srila Gurudev. And in Guru Maharaj's time, with Srila Gurudev, we have that experience. And it was Srila Gurudev who smoothly, in the spiritual sense, kept everything going for the devotees, nourished devotees when Srila Guru Maharaj disappeared, when Srila Srila Maharaj, Srila Guru Maharaj passed away from the world. Already we have Gurudev, already we have that relationship with Gurudev. And he kept the banner flying strongly throughout those years, despite many difficulties along the way. But there's a very good example that so many things come, but Srila Gurudev, strong-minded and going through everything in service to Guru Maharaj. So it is they who we are serving until now. It is they who we want everyone to come to understand, that our service life now, through the devotees of the next generation, their service life now is connected to these great souls, and they are the grandfathers of the devotees. And the grandfather, as Gurudev said, is more merciful than the father. So they don't see the faults of the grandchildren, they only see their cute side. So we are fortunate all we really are fortunate to be in that line, that current of wonderful masters. But I must admit, when I saw your question, I thought, how did Gurudev decide to be a devotee? He was a devotee from birth. We were a monster from birth. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. And chanting japa, by the way, when that question came up, the anonymous question through Rasamaya Pandita Devidasi, and I'm not sure exactly the words you use, but how can we keep, and I was sort of finished the sentence in my mind, the mosquitoes from biting us while we're chanting japa. Because nowadays outside, unless you're Madhusudan Prabhu, who somehow Krishna gave a special siddhi. Some people become very small, some can become big. Where his siddhi is, mosquitoes don't bite him.
I had the fly in the morning during the Gayatri.
Oh, you had a fly during Gayatri, but no mosquito. Yeah. because it's so beautiful outside and it's the time. No, really, it's just the time when the birds are waking up, the world is just, starting, it's quiet, and it's that time between night and day, and it is conducive. So again, back to the chanting japa, to chant japa as much as we can in a conducive time, without your mobile phone. Sorry, a little bit of renunciation, eh? And the mind also, if the mobile phone is there and all those other things, it's good to give your mind some time. Like when you wake up, you're not immediately going to eat or anything. You got some pause between waking up, bathing, and doing other things in your life. But we need to have that pause time for our japa. So we don't answer the phone, we don't do this, we don't do that, we don't do the other things. So that also will be helpful for our japa. But our japa we are chanting in service. And this is the point Abhinavasundara Prabhu returned to 2 or 3 times. We are chanting our japa in service because we are asked to by our master, by our master's master, like this. All right, it's Monday Zoom, and we better let you go, and we better let ourselves go too. Like I said last week, they're all fasting. I'm also fasting, except I'm not fasting because I'm speaking. But they're all fasting. They're going to have a late evening prasadam today, but voluntarily fasting so they can be with you. So we are happy for that. Oh, Anandasundara. Oh, Sanangalata. Okay, really, I have to make the screen bigger. You have your hand up, yes. A quick question. But turn on your microphone, yes.
Não é bem uma pergunta, é só compartilhamento sobre essa questão da japa aqui. Eu ouvi hoje de manhã no Zoom do Gurudeva Madhusudana, e era esse questionamento que eu tenho me feito sobre essa concentração. E nesse Zoom, ele falou que flui do nosso coração para os ouvidos e para Krishna dançar nos lábios. Não ao contrário, primeiro os ouvidos e lábios, depois para o coração. Isso foi, assim, muito clarificador, assim, para mim, sabe? Era isso. Que vem primeiro do coração, para a gente não se preocupar tanto com essa questão dos ouvidos. Para mim foi sensacional.
Okay, so Anangalata Devidasi, we're going to give some relief to Chaitanya Moiridi, and we're going to have Leela Moy Prabhu here translate into Portuguese, and in the meantime, oh no, Hari Gopal didn't get it. Hari Gopal can translate Portuguese to English. Okay, oh no, but you're going to speak English. Oh yeah, okay, got it. But clip the microphone here.
Okay. It's not a question, it's a comment that she has the like this problem with her when she's chanting her japa, that she remembered in one of your live streams or Zooms, I don't know, that you said that our chanting, it's coming from the heart, not from the lips. And that's a good point that she remembered about it, and she's giving emphasis in that our chanting comes from the heart and then from the lips.
Yes.
Very helpful for her.
Very helpful for us all to be reminded. And this is also the theme. Gurudev, Srila Gurudev, many times, and everybody knows it, I think, saying heart-to-heart transaction. You will hear Guru Maharaj using that expression also. And it's not a surprise. I mean, Gurudev is giving us Guru Maharaj. symbiotic, whatever the word is. So yes, it is heart to heart, but we also have our heart coverings. So we must keep on chanting and chanting. The more we can chant, the more that the heart coverings will be removed, and our taste will become more clear, more refined. And Srila Guru Maharaj also telling about how the Chaitya Guru is inside us. We have what we normally call conscience, something like that. We've got not just conscience for doing bad, but there is something inside us which is saying, this is good use of your time, this is bad use of your time. There's something inside which is telling us. But as we become cleaner, as we chant, as we do seva, as we get the grace from above, then that conscience, that Chaitya Guru, is not actually conscience, but Chaitya Guru inside, we will be able to hear more and more clearly the directions coming from within. But Srila Guru Maharaj said, but especially in the early time, we must always give stress for confirmation with the Mahanta Guru and the Vaishnavas. Means the Mahanta means the Guru from without, because from within we may get all sorts of things saying. Literally, we've had somebody say, but I had a dream. I had a dream. God told me that he wants me to eat chicken. And then we can think, okay, well, I don't think this is the pure message of the Chaitya Guru. There's something a little mixed with one's previous desires, inside there. We can think that. But I mean, literally, we've had this. But it's just not from anybody here, by the way, so don't. But this way we need to get some clarification and give more stress in the beginning to the Mahanta Guru. But yes, it's coming into the heart. The sound is coming to the heart from the upper world, and through that transaction to the heart, then will come to the lips, and it will become more and more clear it is happening as we continue our journey. Journey of joy to the land of joy. So let us joyfully continue and face any challenges, both, like you could say, physical challenges, but internal challenges, pulls in the different directions. We must face each challenge as a challenge from Krishna, something to make us stronger, to get us on our journey, so really we can be qualified to live in a land where even in dreams, no one even will dream of deceiving anybody else. Where it's a land ruled means lovingly running. The rule of the road is love, sweetness, and charm. And we hear the descriptions of this from those who know that land. And actually that question earlier, why do we become a Vaishnava? Well, we can say, I had a very strong feeling. Srila Prabhupada was writing about a place he knows, and not some theory, something he read and just repeating something he'd read. And he, coming from that place, sharing that land, Guru Maharaj sharing that land, Srila Gurudeva sharing that land. And this way we are heading to a beautiful home. That is the journey. If we can just take care of our devotional life, and great help will come from the devotees. So here we are with so many devotees happily today, both with us and with us in all ways, and we feel like we're seated with each of you, and that we're seated together, not in different places. And this is also allowed, this technology is allowed by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We should use it in his service, as we are here trying to do. You, all of us together trying to do. All right. Oh, yes. Oh, prasadam. Here they ring a bell for prasadam. If somebody rings the bell, then we'll be quiet. Okay, we are going to chant Hari Harai Nama Krishna. We know Zoom doesn't do very well, but if you wish, you may stay, but we'll, at least for now, we're going to say the Jais. Jai, here we are with the deity Saparika, Shri Shri Guru Gauranga Gandhavika Gopinath and Giriraj Balagopal Ki Jai. And the Navadip deity is always in our heart. Shri Shri Guru Gauranga Gandhava Govinda Sundar Ki Jai. And so, and to our masters, of course, Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai, Srila Bhakti Rockok Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai, Srila A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai, Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Ki Jai, Sri Rupa Nuga Guru Vaga Ki Jai, Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai, all the assembled devotees Ki Jai, Sri Chaitanya Saraswati Acharya Brinda Ki Jai, Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai, Nitai Gaur Premanandi
Jai Srila Bhakti.
So we are going to sing. We are going to sing Hari Harai Nama Krishna. And maybe Leela Moy Prabhu, who didn't sing anything yet? Oh, Kelly Kadambanana, she's here quietly, humbly in the background. So let us hear Hari Harai Nama Krishna. And by the way, before, we've been singing for a while before. So really, we're having a very sweet, fulfilling with so many devotees evening program, festival in Vila Govinda Ashram here in Italy today with you. Gaur Premanandi Hari Hari. Hari Haraya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Nama. It's okay, not too hard. Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha. Gopa Govinda Shri Madhusudan. Giridhari Govinda Nitai Gaur Premanandi Hari Hari Bol. And to all of you devotees, our humble obeisances. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripasindubhyevacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha.
Srila Bhaktivedanta Madhusudan Maharaj ki jai.
Oh dear. Anyway, wishing you all a successful Seva week in Krishna consciousness, and we'll meet again soon, and we'll meet again and again during the week. And yes, Jai Saprika Shishi Guru Gauranga Gandhava Govinda Sundarju ki Jai. Gaur Premanandi Hari Hari Bol. Oh, I just told, I said the wrong deities. Excuse me, Gopinath. Jai Saparika Shishi Guru Gauranga Gandhavika Gopinath Giriraj Balagopal Ki Jai. Well, we do have the Navadip mood with you all, I have to say. So we're happy to chant the Navadip deities' names also. Gaur Premanandi Hari Hari Bol. Super to see each of you. You've lasted all the way through. And the message in the chat box. Oh, Tungarasa sending lots of flowers and all good things. Jai. Dandavat, Dandavat, Amra, Aschi. And the deities are closing now. Okay, we got it.